Hello gamers, Serroh here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you where to find Morpha the Aquatic Mass and also how to defeat him. Now this boss is pretty difficult. It is a side boss, so this is not to be confused with the main octopus boss that you saw in the trailers. This is a secret one that we just found during release. Now this is going to be a pretty long video, so if you don't need all of the information, I did divide this up into chapters, so just scroll through the bar there and you will be able to pick the chapter you need to know about, whether it's a build that you need or where to find the boss or even the loot pull. It'll be down there broken up into chapters. Now, one thing that is very important to know is you do need to have around 800 to 1000 health, or at least that's what I recommend. Anything lower, you're probably gonna die unless you're the OGest of gamers, because this boss hits really hard. One main point, this boss has double the health of Ivy the Poisonous Mass, which is the purple slime. So this boss has over 63,000 health. So you're going to need not only a great defense, you need a great offense. One more thing to note is I'm not going to be making the best build ever and show you on this video. I will be making that in a later video. This is just a casual build that I use based on my setup that I use to defeat the boss. So the first things first is we need to head over here to this like NPC, this hologram one, and activate it. You don't need this expert lore. That is for the main boss. You are actually looking for the Morpha the Aquatic Mass scanner. This is how you're going to locate the boss if you have not found it. The Sunken Sea biome is massive, so the chances of you stumbling across it is pretty rare. I have not found it, but obviously to some people you're going to get super lucky. Now it's going to take 10 ancient gemstones, 10 mechanical parts, and 90 slippery slime. To get the slippery slime, you need to explore up here in the Sunken Sea biome, and you need to look for locations that have this really dark blue color on the islands. That will be ground slime, and then you can use it to kill some slime as well. Now you can also use a shovel or a hoe to pick up some of the ground slime and then make a tiny little mob farm here with some spikes, and that is how I got my 90 slime. So after that, you can craft the thing and then just activate it like any of the other ones and it'll show you. For me, I was exploring over here on the far left of the map and I couldn't find it, and that's because the boss was all the way over here. And if you notice, the island that the boss resides in is actually pretty large and it is fully covered in that blue slime. So if you hear a lot of slamming around like the orange slime or Ivy the Poisonous Mass and you find an island with a lot of this blue, chances are that's where the boss is. Now, if you haven't caught on yet, the new boss is a blue slime. He's the same as Glurch the Abominous Mass and Ivy the Poisonous Mass, but this one is blue and he's kind of a pain to deal with. So I already put a teleporter up there, so I'm going to head up to the island so I can show you what the island looks like and kind of what you need to do to take him on. So now that we are up here, whenever you first spawn in up here or you land your boat, what you want to do is make sure you clear out all the mobs, even down to these little blue ones. Kill all the crabs, all the stuff that's nearby, because you do not want some of these mobs third-partying you while you're in a battle, because like I said, this boss hits so freaking hard that you're going to die really quickly if you're not paying attention or if you're getting hit in the back by another mob. So even try to seal up some of the areas whenever you try to farm this boss. And the reason I say when you try to farm it is because you use a giant slime summoning idol to resummon him. That's what I'm going to be doing. But for you, whenever you first encounter him, the boss is already going to be down here. So be very careful not to aggro him while you're clearing up the enemies on the sideline. If you do actually aggro the boss, you can just back off even like up to this distance and then he'll leave you alone. He'll go back, heal, and he'll stay in the middle. So try to just use that to stay on the outskirts and defeat all of the side mobs. Now that we are at the boss, we are set up. You need to know what kind of gear you need, right? So we know where to find the boss. Now it's time to get a build going. There are so many different builds that you could use to fight this boss. The one I'm going to show you, like I said, will not be the best build in the game, but it is certainly a great one. So I'm using the Octarine set, which you make this from the Octarine workbench. I have the Octarine helmet, the breastplate, and the pants. Make sure you always reinforce your gear because it will give you additional perks or percentages. So we have an extra 5 health, an extra 3 armor, and a 0.8% to my range attack speed. That's just on my pants. So I will get another 6 health points from my breastplate if I reinforce it, and another 4 on my helmet. I'm also running the Sentry Shield. This drops from the new Core Sentry mob. If you don't have the shield, use the Toxic Defender. I do highly recommend you use a shield for this fight because you need to block a lot of that massive damage. If you have the Sentry Shield, that is your better bet, but if you don't, use the Toxic Defender. Now, I'm using a ranged build for this fight, so I'm using 2 of these polished gold crystal rings. They give me increased range damage and attack speed, and I'm also using the Mold Vein Necklace just for that extra 23.7 range damage. So we have a pretty strong offense here. We have various weapons that we can use. I'm going to be using the Bubble Gun. If you got this to drop from the brand new crabs, it doesn't look like the stats are great, but trust me, this is like the strongest weapon that you can use against this boss. Even better than the new Scholar Staff. I tried defeating this boss with the Rune Song and Poisonous Sickle, and while they did work and I still defeated the boss, I seemed to melt the boss so much faster using the Bubble Gun. And you can also reinforce this as well. So reinforce your weapons, your shield, and your armor. Next up, we're going to talk about health. You want to have at least probably about 800 to 1,000 health, I would say, because he hits so hard that anything less like 400 to 500, you're just going to die. Like, no matter how good you are at the game, you're going to die if you have like less than 500 health. So try to stay in that 800 to 1,000. You can reach this by maxing out your vitality skill tree here. So if you max this out, it'll give you 100 max permanent health. You can also find some amber larvas and some giant mushrooms. They will each give you an additional 50 permanent max health. If you are well fed, you get a 10% increased max health from being well fed. So if you have your food pretty much full, it'll give you extra health. And then anything down to your weapon. So if you use the Rune Song for this, it'll give you an additional 62 max health. So make sure your health is up there in the numbers because the boss does do a lot of damage and you don't want to be on the receiving end with just 500 health. Now, next we go down to the foods and buffs. Now you want to be using some potions. If you're using the ranged, you want the Keen Potion because it gives you 32.5% range damage. There are so many different foods that you can use, but one that gives you movement speed would be really nice. Make sure you have a Guardian's Potion and a Stone Skin Potion that increases your armor, pretty much reducing the damage that you take. And then you need to have Greater Healing Potions. This is a must. Make sure you bring like 15 with you. So now that we have all of that broken down, it is time to fight the boss. So for me, I'm going to summon him. I'm going to activate my Keen Potion, my Guardian, Stone Skin, and I'm going to use my Bubble Gun. So let's drop this summoning idol. Actually, let me defeat these mobs because they seem to spawn back really fast. And I got a trophy there. Sweet. So we're going to drop this down. Now, the boss really doesn't have that many moves. When he spawns in, you want to shoot him with whatever range attack you're using. You probably want to get further away than I am. But he does this move where he shoots out these little bubbles. And this is where you can just keep attacking because they really don't do that much damage. And this is the time that you can do a lot of DPS to him. But when he hops on you, make sure you activate your shield and you have it facing him because that is the move that does a lot of damage. Other than that, this is about the only thing that he has going for him. He does that little jumping slam attack, and then he shoots these bubbles out that give you that debuff, which makes you slippery. So we're going to go ahead and defeat him. When he gets down to about 20% health, he's actually going to go into an enraged state, and this is where you want to defeat him as quick as possible. So that was it. I know I made it look pretty easy, but using the build I have, it does make it quite a bit easier. And then he drops probably the best looking chest in my opinion in the game. One thing I forgot to mention, this blue slime, it makes you slide. So there's really no way around that on your first go because you're not going to be able to get close enough to dig up all the slime. Otherwise, he's going to attack you. But whenever you fight him again, you can use a hoe and use it to dig up all of this, and it'll make your fight a lot easier on the second go around. So let's take a look at loot and let's talk about it. So I just got the chest piece, which is the slime armor. This is really good. It gives you 37 max health, 22 armor, and 11.9% damage. All three of those things are what you could really want to fight this boss. So it's going to increase your health, it's going to make you take less damage, and it's going to help you output more damage. If you have a set of 2, you get immune to slippery movement. So if I were to put this on right now, let's do this, and we're going to put on the ring that I already have. Let me eat this. I can actually just move around now. I'm not sliding anymore. So this set, the set you get from him, is actually really good for farming him. Let's see what else we got. So we got the new backpack, which is Morpha's Bubble Bag. It gives you plus 20 inventory, 4.7 movement speed, and plus 12% mining damage. And then we got some more slippery slime here. Now, I've defeated him 8 times here. I have 8 chests. I've gotten quite a few of these rings. The rings give you 36% critical hit damage, and then it also applies as a set. So you have the slime helm, the slime armor, and the Morpha's ring. If you get a set of 3, melee attackers become slippery when you attack them. Now, I'm not necessarily sure what exactly that means. I assume it makes them somewhat kind of stunned from attacking you if you make them slippery. So applying that would be really nice. Now, we also have the helmet. The slime helmet gives you extra health, extra armor, extra damage again. So let's take a look at what it looks like. It looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I really like the looks of this armor set. You got like a slime dripping down the side of your face and then slime armor. I don't believe there are any slime like pants or anything like that, because that would be pretty cool. Next, we have this slippery slime sword here. Let me go ahead and equip that, show you what it looks like. It kind of looks like a dagger at first, but it's really not. And it gives you some decent melee damage, comparing it with the Rune Song. The Rune Song is 204 to 248 damage. This is 177 to 215, so it is a less damage. It gives you 2.5 attacks per second, plus 8% critical hit chance, and then a 37% chance on hit to apply slippery movement. So that's another one of those things. It's another outlet of getting that perk to proc on another enemy. And let's see what else we have. I think that's about it for the armor set. You can obviously get his trophy to drop if you get super lucky. And this blue slime figurine, that is just from the smaller blue slime. So yeah, that is it for the video. I hope you guys learned a little bit. Like I said, I will be creating some guides on how to fight him even easier. And I really want to make a build, like a video for people that aren't quite as advanced as I am. So you might not be at the point where you have this much health. And then obviously, if we ever come up with a way to cheese the boss, I definitely will make a video on that. But I don't see us being able to put some spikes down, because if it's anything like Ivy, the poisonous mass, he's just going to break the spikes. So I'm sure we will find a way that will help those that just are having trouble getting to this point. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I super appreciate it. Sorry that the video was so long, but I wanted to try and cram as much information in here as I could. And I will see you all in the next one.